Some of the richest companies in this world have the most boring products. Hey guys, it's Caitlin. Welcome back to the channel. If you've been waiting for the perfect time to start your business, or if you're worried about starting a business in this economy, I hope this video changes your perspective. So which businesses are going to be the best to launch in 2025 and possibly also through 2026? So which businesses should you be preparing to launch? I would say sustainable businesses, and I'm not talking about green or clean businesses. I mean businesses that stand the test of time. These are going to be businesses that people need no matter what, so they're not optional. Lives sort of kind of depend on it. And trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to have a bit more of appreciation for boring businesses. I want you to think back to 2020. 2008, I was 8 years old / 9 years old. So we're not going to try to even recount that in depth. But I do remember 2020, and I want you to think back to what types of businesses were making headlines and which businesses were going viral. They were not your sexy tech startups. They were medicine companies. It was toilet paper. It was paper towels. It was the most boring companies, right? But also today, look around you. When you look at the zipper on your hoodie, it's YKK. Or how much toilet paper do you have stocked up? How much paper towels do you have stocked up? How many toilets do you have in your house? Like, some of the richest companies in this world have the most boring products, and they're not sexy. They're quite dirty when you think of a toilet, but they're necessities, and we can live without them, but it's very hard to, and we choose not to every single day. Even your shoes, your shoelaces, your aglets, the little plastic pieces that are at the end of your shoelaces. And no, these are not products that people particularly get excited about, but think about the last time that you ran out of toilet paper and how much did you freak out? Probably a little bit, not a lot to cause a whole commotion, but you were like, okay, I can't run out again. And this is the exact case with these businesses. No matter how much you're making, you are always going to buy toilet paper. And not just toilet paper, that is just my dramatic example, but you can expand this thought to anything that is a necessity throughout our life. So cleaning products, closet staples, so your hoodies, your sweaters, certain types of shoes can be considered essential, pencils, pens, you name it. I want to preface this next section by saying I'm not an economist, but one thing I am is a woman, and I know how women shop. And as someone who is on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, I'm watching these trends and I'm looking at how the trends are shifting. And there's a lot that we can learn from how women specifically shop. So before we look at how women shop, let's look at how men shop. So men typically participate heavily in the stock market. They research extensively before making a purchase. And when they do finally make a purchase, it is usually an investment that lasts for a couple of years. They're not into the whole one-off thing. Women generally are more likely to try new products. We are more into the retail side of things. And when we make a purchase, we tend to not look into the longevity of products, but as long as it serves its core purpose for what we need it for right now, we're happy. This difference in shopping behavior isn't random. It is usually a pretty good indicator into how the average person is doing in the US. So when women start to change their shopping habits, you can usually see which way the economy is going. The other day, my dad sent me a Saturday Night Live clip, and they were making a joke about how women need to buy their extensions now before President Trump puts taxes on them because they're going to be more expensive in a couple of months. But while it was a joke, it is so true. And this is the exact conversation that I've been having with the people in my life. And it's that women are shifting to more long-term decisions. And when we start shifting to long-term decisions, you know that we don't have, I say we as in the American people, there is not as much disposable income going around. And it's not just hair. We see it in our nail trends. Before you see really flashy colors and dark colors, but as soon as it grows out, you do have to go get your nails done again. So we're seeing an uptick in French tips, so just a more natural look. Even with the hair, we're going from more expensive hairstyles to more manageable hairstyles. And another entire industry that has not dissolved, but has significantly declined in the amount of businesses within that industry that exist in the world are lashes. And I'm talking about the lash extensions. They were huge during the pandemic when people had nowhere else to go, nowhere else to really spend their money. And since the pandemic, we have seen that this industry has just declined. And this is largely in part to people wanting to put their money in other resources. There's been a change in priorities. I want to make a clarification that when I say sustainable, I don't mean affordable and I don't mean cheap. I mean people want to see the value in what you offer. A really great example is the holy trinity of the luxury world, and that is going to be Hermes, Chanel, and Louis Vuitton. And I noticed this years ago. I love a good bag, I'll be honest about it. What makes these three brands stand out, Hermes, Chanel, and Louis Vuitton, is because they consistently raise their prices compared to the other luxury brands that exist, Gucci, Dior, etc. These three specifically, every year, no matter how the economy is doing, no matter if people are like, I can't afford it, or if their sales decline, they are going to raise their prices. And why do they do that? Well, one, because they can, and two, people keep buying. But when we also think of the luxury market, who is probably the biggest consumer of luxury bags? Women. And how these bags are sometimes being used, this is not for everybody that has a bag, but for, I would say, a lot of people. If you look at the resale market, you will see that these bags are typically used as almost stock. So people will buy an Hermes bag for $10,000, use it, bang it up a little bit, get their fun out of it, and then they'll go resell it. And on the market, that bag, depending on the leather, depending on what it's made out of, depending on the hardware, it can sell for like $30,000. And because women have historically not participated as much in the stock market, we have a history of making tangible, portable things the space for our wealth. And because bags, specifically Birkins, can actually hold better value than gold and the S&P 500 and even real estate, it is usually seen as an investment that people see their value in. So even though the economy overall may not be looking like it's doing that well, there are still people that are going to invest in certain things because they see the value in it, and it's almost a necessity. In the US, it's only been since the 1970s that women have had our own bank accounts. So historically, women have always kept wealth in bags, jewelry, gold, diamonds, and even diamonds when you think about it. And this gets us into our next point about positioning. That was an entire marketing campaign by De Beers. Diamonds are only worth as much as they are because De Beers was like, they should be worth 3 months of your income. So it's all about positioning and perceived value. So if you convince everyone that they need a diamond ring for their engagement, then everyone is going to want a diamond ring for their engagement. So what does this mean for you and your business? Well, one, it means you need to understand how your customers make decisions. So if your target market is usually women, or if your target market is usually men, then you need to understand what they view as a necessity and what they view as optional. And if you are optional, then you might want to look at how the economy is doing and then see how you can maybe shift. Two, you should identify their absolute must-haves. If your business is deemed a must-have, then they are always going to have that, no matter what their income even justifies. And three, you have to position your product as a non-negotiable. So we can look at De Beers and what they did with their marketing campaign and how they convinced the entirety of the world that they need a diamond ring. And we can look at that messaging and apply it to your business. The last thing as business owners that we want to do is run a sale, discount our products, or mark them lower than what we truly believe the value is worth. But I hope this video showed you that it's not about getting a better deal for your customers. It's that they want to see that their money is well spent. And if you can demonstrate that value, you'll never be out of business. If you're struggling with positioning your product as a non-negotiable, reach out to me. I would love to help you. I'll leave my email and contact information in the description box below. Before you leave, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.